now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, there's breaking news coming in from BEC.
And this could very well affect every consumer.
Police are investigating damage at BEC's Clifton Pier plant today. BEC Chairman Leslie Miller today showed reporters damage of wires in two sections of the plant in the engine room and one in an auxiliary room. That tour of the facility, which was damaged today, is still underway. Mr. Miller says he believes it's sabotage and he's blaming BEC staff. The damage was reported around noon today. Now officials say the damage had the potential to affect power generation here in New Providence. So far, it hasn't, though. It's expected that the damage will be corrected in 2 to 3 weeks' time. We'll continue to follow the story.
Also tonight, police have identified the man shot and killed near Thompson Lane on Saturday. He's Shenario Javon DeVoe of Strawn's Corner. DeVoe was walking through a track road when gunmen shot and killed him. 2 people were arrested shortly after, but here police say this video we're showing now is where police say they've arrested 2 suspects in connection with this, the discovery of 2 bodies in a burnt-out car Saturday night. A man and a woman are being questioned at this time. This according to head of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Roll. Police reported Saturday the victims are believed to be a man and a woman. They have to wait DNA analysis to positively identify them.
As early as today, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, could be making recommendations to the government after touring flood-stricken areas of New Providence.
Today, NEMA conducted door-to-door visits in the Eastern District, and based on what they find, suggestions will be forwarded on for assistance. Our Charisma Robinson visited the area today, and she spoke to those who were hardest hit.
It's pretty much starting all over again for some Eastern New Providence families who lost just about everything in the flood last Tuesday. Our news team visited areas hardest hit along with Area MP Hubert Chipman. Over in Nassau East North, the Patemans are still trying to wrap their heads around the devastation, which they say totally took them by surprise.
We lost all of our furniture and some electronics. Looks like I'm going to lose all my kitchen cabinets, bathroom cabinets. Car is still damaged.
The Patemans say about 3 feet of water quickly got into their home, leaving a trail of destruction behind.
I woke her up and said, we have to go, and quickly picked up everything off the floor, electronics as quick as possible, clothes, put them on the beds, put them on furniture, and got out. And by the time we were getting out the door, car was completely flooded. The Jeep that I was driving had water coming into it, and that barely got out.
But if you think that situation was bad enough, think again. This man says he and his family were trapped inside their home for 2 days.
What I did is I punched a hole with a contractor in the wall that was retaining all of the standing water. And gradually, having punched a hole in the lower realms of the boundary wall, we managed to get some of it out. But I also had to get a cesspit truck in. A 6,000-gallon cesspit truck took 5 loads, i.e. 30,000 gallons, just from this section of the garden alone. This is the lowest lying point of the garden, so this is where it all kind of settled.
However, Terrence Rollins is looking at the brighter side of things.
It was a pretty bad experience, but as somebody who's lived through hurricane, who's lived through earthquake, who's been shot at and stabbed in the past, you know, I'll get by, I'll get through.
Over on Ridgeland Way, our news team met families rummaging through whatever they could save. The Moxie home in particular was among those hardest hit. But Mr. Chipman says he was surprised to know that the pastor and his family were pretty much in high spirits even after losing so much.
A lot of people are in high spirits. They're wondering what the government is going to do as far as whether it's duty concession or to rebuild their lives.
Now, 17 teams were dispatched to assess the affected areas in the Eastern District. NEMA official Crystal Glinton says based on what they find, suggestions will be forwarded to assist these families.
In going to these areas, we're aware that this is not the first time that this has happened or the second time. It seems as though it happens every 10 years, and particularly in the East. And so we want persons to know in terms of rehabilitating their homes, there are a lot of things they have to do. Those who are going to have new construction, that they need to exceed the minimum building code. That is, you have to go higher than whatever the building code states if you're going to construct in flood-prone areas.
For the Moxies, just one of the many families who lost everything in the flood, there needs to be regular maintenance of drainage systems in the affected areas. Charisma Robinson, ZNS Network News.
In our first look at whether a mid-level trough is developing over the 700 islands, we'll fire up showers over the next several days. But outside of our studios just now, we have mostly cloudy skies, temperatures 79 degrees, relative humidity 83%. Your winds out of the southeast at around 10 knots, barometric pressure 1,018.7 millibars. That's 30.08 inches, and it is rising. But stay tuned. Temperatures around the Farm Islands, travel and boating forecast is still to come.